Kelvin Kiptum set an incredible new marathon record at Chicago this year with a time of 2 hours and 35 seconds. But what does it take for him to run a 2-hour marathon? And the question everyone's asking, could he go faster? First up, Valencia Marathon in 2022, Kipton's marathon debut. He won the race, he set a new course record by over a minute, and he ran a negative split. In fact, his second half of the marathon was the fastest ever second half of a marathon at the time. And on top of that, the race was the day after his birthday, and he became the third man ever to break 2 hours and 2 minutes in the marathon. Pretty cool birthday gift. Kipton then came back onto the marathon scene in April the following year, winning London Marathon and again setting a brand new course record. In fact, the time that he ran, 2:01:25, was only 16 seconds off Kipchoge's record at the time, which was 2:01:09. This got heads spinning, and the fact that he ran another incredible negative split in this race made people wonder, how fast could he go? And then most recently, Kiptum absolutely smashed the world record at the 2023 Chicago Marathon, where he set a new record of 2 hours and 35 seconds. That is a whole 34 seconds faster than the previous world record held by Eliud Kipchoge, which he set at 2022 in Berlin, running a time of 2 hours, 1 minute and 9 seconds. Another cool fact about the Chicago race was the fact that Kiptum managed to slice 3 minutes off the previous course record, and he also finished 3.5 minutes ahead of the second place finisher, Kenyan Benson Kipruto. That's some pretty big gap. And let's not forget that Kiptum also ran the second half of the race much quicker than the first, under 60 minutes in fact, 59:47. These numbers are absolutely mind-boggling, but just to break it down a little bit more, Kipton's average pace for this whole 26.2 miles in Chicago was 4:36 per mile or 2:52 per kilometre. And just to add to how bonkers this is, he also managed to run a 13:51 5k at kilometre 30 to 35. I'm not sure you're getting me anywhere near close to my 5k PB at that point in a race, and that is absolutely incredible. But I want to know your thoughts. What do you think about his time? Do you reckon you could get anywhere close to that pace for a mile, 100 metres? I think I'd last about 10 seconds. Let me know in the comments. So what has Kipton done in order to achieve all of these incredible races? Well, he's done quite a lot of training, so let's start by breaking this down. According to Kipton's coach, he followed a 4-month training programme in the build-up to Chicago Marathon 2023. Sounds about normal for a marathon runner, right? Well, not exactly. In the first month of training, Kipton completed a lot of strength work as well as clocking in 559 miles. That's an average of 130 to 140 miles a week. By the second month, Kipton was running 173 to 186 miles a week. That is roughly equivalent to running a marathon every single day. And in fact, his coach said that whilst he was preparing for the London Marathon, for around 3 weeks, he was running over 180 miles a week. Absolutely incredible mileage for those training blocks. So now let's compare two marathon goats, Kipchoge and Kiptum. Kipchoge, we all saw him break 2 hours, but unfortunately that doesn't count as an official world record. So now the race is on. Who's going to do it first in official competition, Kipchoge or Kiptum? I don't know, where's your money on? But what I want to compare is their two different training strategies. Starting off with Kiptum, who doesn't really ever take rest days. In fact, his coach has said that they only take rest when rest is needed. So if he's training well for an entire month and doesn't feel like he needs a rest, then they won't take a rest. Whereas Kipchoge trains under what we might recognise as a standard 80-20 rule. So he has harder days, easier days, but he roughly follows this 80% easier mileage and then 20% higher mileage. Kipton, on the other hand, throws everything at it. If his 2023 training is anything to go by, then his mileage is high. So high, in fact, that his coach has actually expressed his concerns that Kipton might actually burn out, saying that he's quite keen for him to calm down, but that Kipton simply doesn't want to. And with 2024 being an Olympic year and with the opportunity to break 2 hours for the first time, would you want to calm down? I'm not sure I would want to. But if you compare their training weeks, Kipchoge and Kiptum side by side, you will see a bit of difference. Kiptum's training week is high mileage. High mileage. Kipchoge has peaks and troughs, and if you want to see someone take on a full week of Kipchoge's training, go check out when Mo did it on the running channel. So a breakdown of Kiptum's typical week. Monday, he's got jogging in the morning. Reference that jogging is 4:10 per kilometre to 3:40 per kilometre. That is 6:42 to 5:54 mile pace, ridiculously quick. And then another 12k of jogging in the afternoon. Tuesday, track session, bit of faster work, and then some more jogging in the afternoon. Wednesday, 25 to 28k in the morning and 12k in the afternoon. Thursday is a difficult day, if the rest of the week wasn't already difficult enough. Between 30 and 40 kilometres close to marathon pace, and then a rest in the afternoon. Then Friday, jogging between 25 and 28k in the morning, 12k in the afternoon. And then Saturday, like Tuesday, a track or split on the road, jogging in the afternoon. And then Sunday, difficult, like Thursday, between 32 and 40k at a fast pace. Kiptum and Kipchoge's training weeks are quite similar in the fact that you've got longer runs at 2 points during the week and then some speed sessions, but I think the biggest overall difference is the volume of mileage. So now we know what his week looks like. How does Kiptum actually win a race? Well, let's break down Chicago as an example. He looked strong from the start, and in fact he broke away from the rest of the group after about 5k, only having one person running alongside him after that moment, who they stuck together until around the 30k mark. And as I mentioned before, he ran a negative split in the race, running significantly faster in the second half compared to the first. And in Chicago Marathon, where it's relatively flat but there are some hills at the end, that just shows how impressive a runner he is. And just to get even more geeky with the numbers, the 10k that he ran from 30 to 40k, which was 27.52, would have ranked him in the world top 50 for road 10ks. Absolutely phenomenal considering this was in a marathon, and in fact, the second half of the marathon, which he ran in an incredible time of 59 minutes and 47 seconds, would have also ranked him in the top 50. This runner can do no wrong. So now the big question is, what is Kipton going to do in 2024? My honest answer, I don't know, but I'm going to lay out the facts and let you speculate in the comments. Let's start off with what's actually happening in 2024. Kipton's announced that he's going to run Rotterdam in April, but this is very close to the Olympics, which are happening in the summer, and then there's also Berlin Marathon to consider. Berlin has been where a lot of world records have been broken, and so it would be the obvious choice for Kipton to show up here in 2024 to try and break that elusive sub 2 hour barrier. Let's also think for a second of how Kipchoge broke that sub 2 hour mark. It was in very controlled conditions. He had a pack around him, perfect weather conditions, an incredibly flat course. So perfect, in fact, that it didn't count as a world record because it was under controlled conditions. So if an environment is going to be good enough for Kipton to break that 2 hour mark, it's going to have to be pretty perfect. So the question I'm asking is, does this mean that he's going to forfeit the Olympic medal? Because if he runs in the Olympics, it's going to be hot. It's not going to be the perfect condition to break 2 hours, but he might possibly go for a gold. What is more important to him? Let's also take into consideration that Kipchoge's currently 39, Kiptum's 23, so he has got a lot of years on his side in order to get faster, train more, break the barrier. But then, because his mileage is so high, there is the risk of burnout. If you've currently got the whole world on your side, would you want to go for the sub 2 hour barrier? Would you want to go for the Olympic gold? Would you be worrying about burnout? There are so many questions. I'm so excited. I want to know what your thoughts are. What is he going to do next year? What is Kipchoge going to do next year? And at the Olympic Games, Berlin Marathon and Rotterdam Marathon, what is going to happen? That's a lot of questions. I hope I taught you something in this video, and I hope you're as excited as I am to see what happens. Let me know in the comments what you think. And whilst you're here, why don't you go and watch Tom taking on his first ever marathon, where he was only a few minutes behind Kipton at Chicago.